Okay. We seem to be alive. That's very good. Hello.
Hello.
How are we all doing? Hello. Hi. Sorry about the delay. If you're expecting to see us at 2 p.m., I nearly fell off a ladder, and then Paul, slightly controversially, couldn't sort his microphone out. So that's the reason we're late.
That was a fun process, though.
yeah, there was a lot of refreshing and trying to waggle microphones, but we're all here now. And when I say all of us, I mean me, Jan, Paul, and Vito. Let's go around one at a time. Sorry, I'm whacking my mic now. I'm Nathan Wrigley. That's Jan. Do you want to introduce yourself, Jan? Have as much time as you like. Tell us who you are, what you do, and so on.
Absolutely. I'm Jan. I'm the CTO of WP Feedback. So WP Feedback has taken over the show kind of today.
Yeah.
Besides that, I also do some fun virtual summits, run my own WP Mastery group, and just try to contribute to the community.
That's great. Thank you. I'll tell you what, I'll hide the comments and we'll go around and then we'll do the comments after this. And just down there is our regular Paul Lacey. How are you doing, Paul?
That's right. I'm very regular. My doctor said. Yeah. Apparently that's a good thing.
Yeah, so, I'm not going to make the obvious toilet roll joke.
No.
Well, I think Paul, I just did.
You did. Yeah, okay. Paul here from Dickiebird Studio. I'm also a brand ambassador for RunCloud.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paul. And making up the other half of the WP Feedback's domination of the WP builds.
Dynamic duo.
Yeah, that's it, the dynamic duo. We've got Vito. How you doing, Vito?
I'm very good. It's great to be here and hang out with you guys. Yeah, see some faces.
Yeah, do you know what it is, isn't it? Isn't it just nice just to hang out with people? I did a call last week with a few people, and it was just a pleasure to just hang out. We just shot the breeze, didn't really, achieve anything. There was no agenda. It was purely a social call, and I found it to be really enjoyable. So I think this is kind of like the antidote to the sort of the panic and everything that I'm going to have over the next few weeks. I really like doing this. So thanks for coming on. Just for the benefit of you guys, if you are, let me just put this up. If you wish to comment, there's only really two places that you can do it. We've changed the system. We're not using Restream anymore. So we're going straight into the Facebook group and straight to YouTube. And so they're the only two places where you can make comments. And I believe that in Facebook, you have to sort of hunt around and click a link in the post in order to authorize the platform StreamYard, which is what we're using, so that your name shows up. I think Facebook has to approve StreamYard, and you have to make that manual confirmation. So wpbuilds.com/live, that's the YouTube feed pasted into the page, and wpbuilds.com Facebook, that's our Facebook group. And so there's the places. And what we're doing today, we're talking about the WordPress weekly news for the week commencing the 16th of March. So basically the last couple of days. Let's just go through the comments that we've had so far. And mostly they haven't sort of made that commitment to click that button, because we've got things like this. Facebook user, high five, isolation friends. Hello, whoever you are. Hello.
It was
you
Matt.
Can see. Great. Matt Davis?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Matt. Thanks.
Hi, Matt.
Again, Matt, if you can find the link, I believe I'm right in saying that's what you've got to do. Beth says, "Hey guys, hi Beth, nice to have you along." Leo Mindle, we'll just say let's just move on, and no, let's go back. Hi, Leo. He's alive. I'm not being rude. Leo and I have, as with many people, sort of slightly. The relationship is thus, it's important that we ridicule one another and whatnot. Another Facebook user saying, hi, David McCann. I remember David is in Iowa, because we discussed the caucus in Iowa. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody is well. Yes, of course. Leo, tech issues never. Yeah, he does. And another one, don't know who, but there we go. Hey, all. Better looking version of WP Feedback. Ooh, controversial.
I paid him to say that.
He's certainly better lit. Let's say that. Don't make me blush. Don't know who that was. God, we're getting a lot of comments.
Me.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing a hangout in my project management group today. Oh, good. Lee Jackson is doing a community gathering today too. That's great. Hi, Heinrich. There you go. StreamYard was my friend. Sent some big kisses. And here's a new face. Hello, Dog. From Canada. Nice to have you with us, Canada. Nice. That's great. Yeah, lovely.
I think Doug just joined us last week, I think.
Okay.
I've seen his name around.
That's awesome.
Doug is a great dude.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, it's nice to have you with us, Doug. We endeavor to, I think we'll try to keep this fairly light. The intention is to just cover this particular post. I may as well push that on to the script.
Nathan, can I just say I'm concerned about Matt Davis. He gave us all high five and we've left him literally hanging there like this so far. Waiting for So can we, I know it's really bad if you get left there. So Matt, there you go.
Is that the thing? Is that the online, is that become a thing? Is that like a meme?
No, it's just, when someone goes to high five you and then they don't, and then you don't back, it's like the ultimate.
Okay.
The
ultimate burn.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say,
stuck like that.
Can we all just do that again? I'm going to take the award for the fattest hand. I'm claiming it. I'm having it. Fat hands, Wrigley.
I actually feel like I look extremely skinny today, but that's not actually how I look. So I don't know it's different webcam. So I'll have to
use this a different webcam. It may, of course, be the fact that I don't know if it's the same with you, but I'm being a little bit more cautious about what I eat. We'll get onto that, shall we? Let's do that later. First of all, let's just go through this. The usual stuff. WP Builds is a weekly WordPress podcast. We produce episodes on a Thursday, and we'll talk more about this episode in a short while. Episode 171 couldn't have been better timed, and equally, it couldn't have been more poorly timed, and I'll explain why I've said that in a moment. So we do podcasts each week, and then of course we do a news feed. We do a newsletter each week, of which you are listening to kind of like the live version. You can find that by going to the archives and clicking on News Archive. Subscribe to us. You can subscribe on the page here. The subscribe link is up here. This grey one will get you info about our podcasts and content that we produce, and the blue one gets you information about when we hear about WordPress deals. So there you go. And then the one that we're doing today is number 106. Can't believe I've done 106 of these now. 106 episodes, and we'll basically go through them in order. If anybody's got anything to say, please interrupt me. If not, I'll just kind of keep on trucking. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. All right. In which case, we'll make a start. This one, WordPress. Actually, the first two are pretty much related, so I'll kind of knock those open at the same time. And it is to say that WordPress 5.4, we're on WordPress.org, has come around. We're a few days away from the potential release of WordPress 5.4. 31st of March is the date that it should be coming out. I don't know if any of the hoo-ha that's happening internationally at the moment will affect this date. Obviously, we're in unprecedented territory. I'm guessing not, because the release candidates have been coming at the expected pace. But yeah, there was a few bug fixes that needed to be sorted out. So if you're not into beta testing, hold tight. By the end of the month, 10 days or so, you'll have a fresh new version of WordPress. And Justin Tadlock talks about one of the new things which is happening. Now, some of this is not going to ship in 5.4. Some of it's going to be shipping in 5.5. But I decided to include this in the core section of our weekly WordPress news. Gutenberg 7.7 refreshes the UI, and there's an iteration of the block patterns. Basically, to cut a long story short, the editor, and I confess I haven't really played with this a lot, but apparently the iconography, so these bits here that you're going to interact with, apparently they're more visible. They've made them sort of stand out a bit better. This window, which infuriatingly currently only opens to a standard size, and basically you can get 6 icons in there. This now occupies the full height of the viewport that you've got open. So if you've got a nice big monitor and you've got hundreds and hundreds of blocks available, hopefully, rather like, think Elementor. That's probably the best way of describing it. It's just going to go from top right down to the bottom. So that's quite nice. And it's going to also start in full screen mode. So it's going to completely wipe out the sidebar, but there are options up here to make the sidebar return. So that's quite nice. And also this, I feel, is pretty huge. This one kind of just snuck up on us. This is block patterns, and the idea of block patterns is that you'll be able to create collections of blocks and kind of group them together. So there's only a couple at the minute, but imagine that you're using a page builder, Beaver Builder element, or whatever, and you've seen a row layout that you like the look of. It might have 2 text boxes with 2 images and 2 buttons, that kind of thing. Well, the groundwork for that functionality coming into Gutenberg is here in 7.7. It ships with 4 basic ones, 2 images side by side, a cover, 2 buttons, and 2 columns of text. But you can imagine that developers are going to jump all over this. So basically, you're going to be able to click on predefined layouts and just boom, Gutenberg will do them. So I don't know if anybody's got anything to add there, but that's all I really have to say.
I have a question, actually. I thought that the full screen mode was actually in WordPress 5.4, or is it? Yeah. So it's in Gutenberg 7.7 and in WordPress 5.4.
I think it's coming into 5.4, whatever happens in 7.7. So yeah, I think you're going to get that in 5.4, regardless of the status of Gutenberg. That's what I've been led to believe. Yeah.
I have to say I couldn't figure out what's new from any of the articles in release candidate for WordPress 5.4. I couldn't see what was new, but perhaps it's to do with. See, that's about release candidate 3, or is that the one that we actually got? Are we on release candidate 3?
Yes, it is 3. Yeah,
it is number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I've got to say is, apart from that, is having with all this stuff that's going on at the moment, I've kind of decided to put Gutenberg to bed for a while and not think about it too much for about 6 months. Most of the things that I'm seeing that come out are things that I could do a long time ago in other systems. So I'm going to keep, for my time, I'm going to stop worrying about whether or not I'm going to start using Gutenberg for headers and footers and full site editing. I'm just going to have it in my mind that it's a kind of better text editor at the moment for blog posts. And so I've decided to shift any energy thinking about, Gutenberg as anything more than a text editor at the moment, and check in with it more seriously every quarter or six months or something.
Yep.
I totally agree. I think there's a long time before it's gonna happen. And yeah, when I'm building a page, that's it's not even in my consciousness to load Gutenberg still.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, I'm a big user of it now, but I don't create a lot of content, and just about all the content I make is basically text content. So it suits my case perfectly.
But like landing pages and stuff like that on your website, you don't do it with that.
No. I'm still using page builders for all of that stuff. But I think it's interesting though, the functionality getting in there, and you can imagine it. You can imagine, like a page builder, there'll be all of these predefined blocks. I'm imagining that developers, especially theme developers, will create little packs of these predefined block collections, and it'll be trivial. It'll be really easy to throw those designs together in one page. It'll be great. And here we are, right at the beginning. It's the basics. I haven't played with it, so I don't know how easy it is. Sorry, carry on.
No worries. It will be interesting to see how cluttered the websites become then. If you have to install all these third-party blocks to make Gutenberg work as you want to, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I hadn't really thought about it from that point of view. But yeah, it's exciting times. I think that's like a really cool development. I don't
know. Do you know Mike Oliver? You know the name Mike Oliver? He works for Generate Press now, actually, as well. I know that he, with the new Generate Press, created blocks plugin. I think it's called GP Blocks, probably. I hope I've got that right.
Generate blocks, isn't it?
Generate blocks, yeah. He's shown me some of the layouts that he's done with Generate Blocks, and he's pretty much the only reason that I'm even slightly thinking about it as a kind of page builder type thing, because the things he's done with it are pretty damn awesome.
Right.
But elsewhere I just see tons of block sets everywhere, and I've just decided I've got other things to think about. I'm bored of watching what I clearly think is the wrong direction of Gutenberg at the moment. Accelerating, and then seeing a side part of Gutenberg maybe going in the right direction as well. That's just my opinion, though. So I'm kind of Gutenberg.
You've got a friend in David McCann. He says it's a good insight. We can already do these things. No need to fret about them until Gutenberg is further on. Yeah, I suppose I get caught up in all this stuff just because it kind of has become important for me doing this each week to know what's coming down the wire. But I think if it wasn't for that, I probably would be disregarding this bit of news as well. So that's a valid point, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, we can't avoid it, I'm afraid. I've got a whole ton of stuff under the community section just here, and it's all about COVID-19. I mean, I don't know. Let's just have that conversation first, shall we? Because why not? It's got to happen. Affecting everybody. Do you mind if I start? Do that be all right? So I've got 3 kids, wife. We live in a house here. We live in the north of England, and we are basically in lockdown. We don't, nobody's coming over. We're not going out anywhere apart from food shopping. We're in the lucky position in that we've got a garden, so that's good for my kids. But all the schools in the UK have shut except for what's called key workers. So they are people for whom the government require them to go out. So it might be somebody working in a hospital or a postman or, the essentials of life. So my kids don't qualify for that. So they're staying at home, and they would be anyway, even if I was a key worker. I think we'd try. I don't know how we'd do it, but we'd figure out a way for them to stay at home. So I've become the teacher as well. So that's quite an interesting shift in dynamics. Having to.
So are you really doing like classes and stuff?
Well, I'm waiting for the information to flow from the schools toward us. But basically, the primary school that my children go to has put together projects and websites and stuff, so that's being posted out, so I'll receive that very soon. And the secondary school, similar thing, but it's gone on their website, which is a WordPress website, and you've just got to log on and go there's a ton of things that you can do. So that's where we're at. We're busy, and it's really making life interesting. I've got to manage my time. I'm so much more focused. If I get 20 minutes to sit down and do some work, those 20 minutes, not a second is wasted. Whereas before, awesome. I reckon 19 and a half of those minutes would have been wasted.
Playing around with work, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about you, Jan?
Yeah, it's very similar here. So my wife and I are in voluntary isolation. No such thing as a lockdown here in Germany yet, which I think is the wrong move from the government, but that's a different story. We are also lucky that we have a huge property, so we can go out whenever we want, enjoy the time. We take the dogs for a walk, and basically what else we do is we just go for groceries and doctor's appointments and stuff like that, and just try to not go crazy at home. In the pre-chat, I said, for me personally, nothing much changed. I always was a person who enjoyed being at home, staying alone, and just working on the computer. I have more social contacts online now than my wife has in real life, which is the first time that ever happened. So she's going a bit nuts, but I'm just doing my thing, trying to calm her down, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah. Paul?
Yeah, so I'm in the UK as well. 2 kids, wife, bunch of chickens, guinea pig, dog, cats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is it so quiet over there right now?
So as usual, this dog normally makes an appearance most weeks now.
Yeah.
So I'll let her go back to sleep now. So we're from the kids and side of thing, we're fairly well set up for that, because first off, my wife is a primary school teacher, but she's like a supply teacher, so she's normally the one that gets called in when some other teacher is off sick or something like that. So she's kind of out of work now, as we assume. So we're waiting to see if the government's going to help those kind of people, like my wife, who is like a pure freelancer, almost like a 0 hours freelancer. My daughter already does homeschooling for the last 6 or 8 months anyway, so she's got her normal schedule. So and then Theo, my 5-year-old son, so he's really excited about mommy school. So my wife has set up quite a lot of stuff, but that's kind of taken over where I would normally work if I'm working at home. So today I'm working from my bed, which is where I'm sitting now, and then I've ordered a table to go and do some work up and set up a little office corner in my daughter's attic room, so during the day I can work there. I do have a little office, which is normally where I'm from, but I don't actually need to go there. I can survive here, so I'm doing that. But yeah, most of my So that side of things is all fine. And then the times that I notice something is very odd is when you leave the house or you go shopping or something like that, and it feels quite depressing at those points. But then in terms of agency work, we're just trying to assess at the moment what this is going to mean to our agency, all of our clients, other agencies like us, freelancers. No doubt it's all going to change. And but one thing one of my mates said to me, which I did think was quite good. He said he's lost loads of projects, but he's quite enjoying the wartime like effort as such, that lots of people are putting in and lots of communities coming together, families getting on a lot better with each other at this point. So that's where I'm at the moment. We're having a Dicky Birds team meeting at 4:00 today just to discuss ideas and everything. But our income's not been too affected so far, but 24 hours at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Nicely put. Vito, what about you?
So I've been kind of on lockdown since I came back from Berlin like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So I kind of got used to it, to the situation. It wasn't a big change for me either, except that I'm alone here at the office that is really a few meters away from my home. So that's that. But like you guys are saying, going outside and seeing people in like what's it called, like hazmat kind of suit, like the ones they picked E.T. up, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So it's kind of weird, like outside to go, and everyone is just like, kind of suspicious of each other. Yeah, that's pretty much it. From the business side, this is a very, very interesting time, because we were in, like there's a few stages in a business, the way I see it. So we were like in growth mode, right? And everything kind of like slowed down, and now we're in survival mode, because it's a new company that like we have growing team, and we're supposed to bring in more people this month even, but instead we were kind of settling for just Jan.
More than enough.
More than enough. More than enough. So like the whole kind of mindset shift, shifts around what's going on outside, even kind of like considerations of like temporarily pivoting. I think that's a really interesting time in businesses life, like lifespan, where you have this kind of necessity. There is kind of like less demand for a specific service that allows you to focus and expand the different aspect of your business that can maybe be a whole new kind of world, So now with Jan coming on board and we're running the summit, we've been working very hard for the past, even before you even joined, because we wanted to do it for Asia, and now we're doing it properly here. So that's pretty much it. We did like
taken measures to protect ourselves.
Exactly.
This is when I go out for groceries.
Oh, do you really? Do you do
yes,
that?
I do.
That's intriguing. That is interesting. Okay, yeah.
I fought with my wife about that, but I do.
Well, fair enough. Whatever works for you. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting time. I think David Wormsley's watching this, but I can't see his name. It was interesting. He wrote a post. No, he didn't. He wrote like a Facebook comment, and I was talking about social isolation and things, and he said, "I've been building up to this for the whole of my life." Just the idea. He likes to spend some time alone. So for him, it's all happening now. What have we got? I've got a few comments.
Bridget made a good comment. Bridget Williard. It is said that marketing is the first budget to get cut. Now more than ever, brand awareness matters most.
Yeah. Hey, Bridget, if you're watching this still, if you go to the show, like the post comment, at the top, what's it called? The bit at the top of the post, there's a link to click, and it will allow StreamYard to put your name and icon. You don't have to, but you might wish to. We talked about pivoting with Pam and Friday on WP Blab. Okay, so there you are. You're still here. Okay, let's crack on. Let's keep going, because there are a few bits and pieces in the WordPress space about this particular subject. So what have we got? First one is, there's a few helpful bits, and this is a helpful bit. Obviously, we know that I sort of do quite a lot with WP and Up. This is a nice piece. You can see that. Well, the link's in the show notes. Let's just say that. It's a great big article about some different things that you can do to assist yourself in a time like this. For me, I've got my family around. The working conditions, although a bit more tight in terms of time, they haven't really changed that much. But if remote working has been foisted upon you and you are struggling a little bit, there's some excellent advice in here. Things like how to combat isolation, create some structure in your life, maintain your health. It goes on to talk about getting your environment sorted, how to be distracted less and so on, because I know that can be difficult if you're new to remote working. Keeping the focus can be really hard. And then things like tools that you can use are all linked to down there as well. So this is a really nice post. It's probably a 10-minute read, but it's really worth doing. And of course, WP and Up are available by clicking that little button right there. If you feel that you need some support, that's what they're there for. And I don't know about the numbers, but I do know that the incidences of people using WP and Up has gone up, as you may very well expect. So I'm going to ask people if they've got the capability to go to wpandup.org/donate and give them some cash to enable their work to continue. That would be really helpful. Okay, the next one. Did anybody want to go on that? Because I don't know if anybody did. Does anybody want to talk about that one?
All I had to say on that one was there's a lot of posts like that out there at the moment from various companies. It's obviously a good way to bring in traffic for people who are searching, but at the moment, WP and Up's audience is largely remote people who are used to the problems associated with remote working and have been through the suffering at times through that. So if anybody knows their audience well, it's WP and Up. So that's the one that I would read if I was looking at a bunch of these kind of posts.
Yeah, it's coming from a different place as well, because a lot of the emails that I've got from a lot of the companies in the WordPress space have just been sort of giving their. It's more about like here's the holding pattern that we're adopting. Here's the new support mechanism. Here's the way that you're going to interact with us. Here's what we're doing to protect our staff. So it's basically just an information output. Whereas WP and Up, it's much more two-way. And I suspect that as time goes on, they'll probably become a crucial part of many people's lives. Let's hope that they can get some finance from the people who've got deep pockets, shall we say, in order to keep it going. So there's a couple of other ones. This is just on WordPress.org. It's just about the events. I mean, what can you say? Every single WordCamp that's listed there has either been postponed, cancelled. In most cases, cancelled. In some cases postponed, and in other cases moved to live stream. Obviously you need the capability to do that, and a few of them have managed to do it, which is quite nice, so that's good. The next one is over on Elementor. It's this one, same sort of idea, how you can prepare for the coronavirus threat. So rather than the WP and Up one, which is about trying to help you and get you through it in a personal way, make sure that you come out the other side not as stressed as you may have been. This is more about protecting your business and protecting your brand and keeping going and what have you. So it's things like how to make yourself indispensable, how you can prepare, keep expenses to a minimum, sort your priorities out. You can find alternative ways to connect with your past clients. So that was an interesting one. I was talking to somebody last week who actually seems to be busier than ever because they made a concerted effort to go and reach out to all the people who'd been dormant in their roster for a really long time, and they'd made the effort and offered them things to sort of say, look, just stay on board, commit, give us 6 months, a year of your business, and we'll just take care of everything. You can forget about this. It's one less thing to worry about. So I thought that was quite an interesting take. Paul, did you want to go on that one as well?
I thought it was a nice post, and as usual, another publisher that knows its audience extremely well. The only thing I'd add to it, if it's not already in there anyway, is it's a great time to give out kindness to your clients as well. So yeah, there is opportunities to help people that are mutually beneficial. But I know I've got a couple of clients who, looking at what industry you're in, and I just think you are really, really in trouble right now. So I've tried to help a few of those. And while I'm really frantically busy this week, I imagine next week I really want to focus a bit of time to see how I can help some of my existing clients, not necessarily in exchange for money, but somebody said it earlier about, I think it was Somebody who was commenting, whose name didn't show up, said something about it's a fantastic time to build on your profile or your personal brand or your company brand. And I think kindness at the moment will absolutely help that in the future when we all come out of this.
Yeah, I think that was Bridget.
Bridget, it was.
Yeah. I think that this is something that that we should all be doing, and it's not only happening in like the small freelancer level or the agency level. You can see it in the country level as well. That every effort is going inward, instead of outward. So everyone is trying to protect themselves, to protect their own citizens, their own users or their own clients. It's a beautiful time to do that in times of misfortune, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is quite a nice comment. I don't know how it'll show up. There we go. Beth says that Ryan Dice made a video about how to market during a time without coming off like a jerk. And there's the URL there. I can't possibly read that out, but you could replay this and go and type that in, or presumably Google Ryan Dice. And it's interesting because I feel a little bit irritated now when I open up the exact same email that I've got now literally from 100 companies just telling me about what it is that they're doing to sort of protect their own business. Basically, irritated is the wrong word. I'm just sort of thinking, oh, come on, we don't need to hear this now. You've missed the boat there a little bit. So yeah, offering some value and what have you is great.
What's interesting though is Vito shared in an internal chat with us a video from the CEO of Marriott Hotels, who's just assessing the situation, and he said like their hotels are seeing 90% decline in revenue, and hotels are shutting down and stuff like that. And I think it
never happened. Like they said even during the Great Depression, they had like 30% drop.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think in these times it's a fantastic opportunity to learn from those people you would never hear from in the first place.
Yeah.
It's such a
it is interesting.
Video. Maybe you can share this on I'll share this on the feed over there as well. But it's such a moving video to see like such a powerful CEO that talks about needing to fire employees, and he literally as you can see his eyes are starting to water to kind of understand the level of pressure that was just thrown at him out of nowhere with this situation.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? One of the things that I find really quirky is when a company that hasn't ever emailed me, as far as I have memory of, suddenly emails me a COVID-related email. That I think that's my pain point. Really, is the sort of, oh well, we had this list sitting around, we've never used it, we've never done anything, and now in what is obviously desperate times, we're going to start emailing, and unfortunately, it's falling on deaf ears. In my case at the moment, because I've become a bit immune to any email that has that sort of pattern to it. There was an interesting comment just here. Where's it gone? I presume this is Bridget again, although it might not be. She's saying check out the CDC, WHO, government state websites, and stop reading stupid stuff on Facebook. So that's a good point. It sort of adds to the panic, I suppose. That's interesting as well. Offer free consulting. A free consulting hour to past clients is a good way. Yeah, like I was just mentioning. Bridget. Yep, thank you. Is that Bridget? That's great. Yep. What's this one from Elliot? All these new places becoming empty should be take up the slack of what the NHS is about to embark on. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Delete all the emails, she said. Right, let's press on. Okay. Have I got rid of that? Yes. Right, let's put that one back. Sometimes it's hard for me to find these buttons. Okay, so that was on the Elementor website. I think I've ever really put the AppSumo website up on the page before, but I'm going to do it now. And I just thought this was quite a nice post. Obviously, AppSumo is a sort of aggregator of lifetime deals, and many of the lifetime deals that they've had in the past, those companies have decided to offer a significant reduction or an amended pricing or something like that, or even free in many cases during this time. And so this post just goes through a bunch of those companies, and it's just a whole laundry list of companies that might be of use to you: video conferencing, document sharing, all of that kind of stuff. What else?
This is an opportunity for
post like that.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, you go first, Jan.
I just wanted to say that we have a similar post like that on the WP Feedback blog too, with the few deals that came up for free or with discounted pricing.
Okay.
Trying to look into WordPress more specifically, right, on our side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is SaaS related, so nothing to do with WordPress, but that's great. Just stick it in the
and even for us, like what we kind of ran starting on Friday, just to try and help a lot of our users in these kind of weird times. We reduced all of the people that were on monthly. We reduced them by 90% for the next 2 months. And we opened 200 slots for people that want to join at this stage, but are kind of like having troubles with everything that's been going on. So we're keeping the price for the next 2 months at like literally 90% of it at $5 a month.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. It kind of feels to me almost like if you don't amend your pricing at the minute, you really are a bit of a pariah, aren't you? It seems like just about everybody has amended their price, especially if you're in a crucial area where you are of some help. You know, you could have some value. It seems like just sort of the right thing to do. Speaking of which, yeah, Bridget saying Ninja Forms having 50% sale off right now. I didn't know about that one, so that's good. Great, that's perfect. Thank you, Bridget. Bridget is immensely helpful in this. Thank you for all of your comments. This is great. Okay, so that's all the Corona kind of news I've got. I'm sorry to burden everybody with that, but I suppose it's important to say.
Oh, Nathan, on the AppSumo one, it's one of the deals down there looks really attractive, which is for people working at home, which is Crisp, which I didn't buy when it was on AppSumo. And
be very careful with Crisp.
Really?
It messed up 3 of the interviews I did in December for my WP Agency Summit. You have to test very thoroughly with Crisp.
Yeah, I have it, and I'm happy to use it. So just to illustrate what it is, Crisp is a technology which purports to be able to identify background noise from voice or the actual noise that you want the mic to record. And the intention is that it records without the background noise. And in some cases, it's remarkable. It really does work. However, as Jan said, it's a mixed bag. I'm happy to use it for something live, where the content
like a phone call with a client.
Yeah, a phone call. I'd be happy with that.
But kids running around in the background, and I think that's the use case.
Yeah,
that it might be worth trying, especially if they've got a free tier at the moment, just to give it a go. I've never used it, but I was just, as soon as I knew I was going to be working at home, I was thinking, I wish I'd got that Crisp deal. But it's good to hear that feedback, Jan.
It does work live though. Yeah.
Does it? The other thing about this article is that the SaaS industry in general feels like an industry that's going to come under great pressure at the moment. But in the interest of creating a great memorable brand and building some loyal customers, it is a great time for them to be giving back as well, in the way that like Vito's company is doing with that amazing deal at the moment. People will remember that, and people remember that they didn't necessarily have to step backwards at this point. They could survive and then pick it up when it was time to move forward again. I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I am making a part of my brain totally available to the companies who have made the extra effort. I really am. I'm going to look on those, whether consciously or subconsciously. I'm going to look on them very favorably when this whole thing blows over. So another one that's just been mentioned in the show notes here is, where's it gone? Yoast apparently is offering the SEO course for $199. I don't know how that compares to the regular pricing, but it's obviously significantly cheaper.
Ahrefs also has their course for free, like the Blogging for Business course.
Okay.
I think that's even $7.99, and they give it away for free.
Yeah, I have to say, at the minute, I am finding myself, and this may be just a function of me and my life and what have you, I'm finding myself more unwilling to part with money than I've ever been, I think.
Of course. It's this uncertainty that you don't know what's going to be around the corner, so you gotta stay safe.
Right. And so the idea of paying for things at the moment seems to me I would really, really, really have a need for it. But obviously, WooCommerce had a sale which was unrelated to that and did quite well by all accounts, 40% off quite recently. So interesting. Okay, so AppSumo, ton of stuff, but it puts to bed our coronavirus section. So hopefully that was of some use. The next one, just returning to the normal sort of WordPress type stuff this week. I confess I don't know much about either of these companies, but if you are using the WooCommerce checkout plugin, apparently it's called Flux Checkout. You have a new owner in Iconic. Iconic have bought it. There's no indication of how much they've bought it for or what have you. Not being a WooCommerce user, I can't comment on whether this is good news or bad news, but if you are using Flux Checkout, you'd certainly want to know, because you'll want to know that the support is being taken over by a different company and so on and so forth. So anyway, that was
actually,
that was
I know James from Iconic, from WP Iconic, and he does this. He's a very kind of weighted kind of person. So if he took this step, I'm sure that it's only going to mean good things for this plugin. When it comes to support, basically what I'm saying is know that you are in good hands with this
thank
company.
you. Okay, that's good. Are they UK based or?
Yes.
Okay.
James Kemp.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. That's great. A little personal touch there. That's wonderful. That means a lot, actually. Knowing somebody that knows somebody, for me, is huge. If I trust what comes out of somebody's mouth, them saying I trust that person means a lot. And so that's great. Okay, that's good. Thanks.
I'm quite interested to, we've just the last couple of weeks and months, we had loads of buyouts and companies changing hands and investment and stuff like that. I'm really interested. Well, not you interested. I'm just curious what it means to a company when they, like Elementor or even Automatic with Salesforce or this one or any of the others. What does it mean when something like this happens straight after a big load of funding comes in? Does those conversations must be so complicated.
Yeah, and also the
are about to go off, and then you have to almost pause everything and read.
Yeah,
I feel the slightly work so hard,
Yeah, I was just going to say, sorry, I interrupted on several occasions during that. The slightly unfair playing field that we've got as well, because so for example, in the UK, the UK government has stumped up a breathtakingly large amount of money, considering how many people we've got, in order to rescue companies that are about to go to the wall. So paying salary and various things like that. But I'm guessing that same system will not be rolled out universally. And so it may be that companies that are not based in the UK, in different countries who don't have that safety net to fall back on, will be impacted in a much more significant way. So let's say, for example, you run a forms company and you are based in a completely different part of the world and the government is not bailing you out in the same way. Maybe that's going to, change the landscape quite a bit. I don't know.
I think it will.
Sad times. Bye. Makes me shiver just to think about it. This was a good one. Let me put the screen back up. Change in pace. This is Robert Abella, who actually came on the podcast probably a year ago or so. He's got a nice piece talking about the WP repo and the fact that his plugin, which is a security audit log plugin, very good by all accounts, it was pulled from the WordPress repo for a pretty edge case problem. And his article is basically about the process that it took to get it back on. And he's not bitter, but I think he's saying, could we make this process a bit more streamlined? Could the communication work a little bit better? Because essentially, it feels like the communication that it was getting pulled from the repo arrived when he was in bed. That's kind of the feel of what I read. And then his reply to that hit the weekend. So we're up to 72 hours of downtime. By that point, lots of your customers are saying, whoa, what's going on? And he's saying, wouldn't it be better if the process was much more, if it's not a serious threat, if it's pretty unlikely to be exploited, how about you let me have a crack at it first before you pull it from the repo? It's more complicated than that. But anyway, it's back. It was all to do with the onboarding process. There was a mistake made in the onboarding process, which means that the user onboarding wasn't authenticated, so they could, in theory, get up to a whole variety of nonsense. But anyway, there we go. Interesting. I don't think anybody's probably got anything to say about that one, have they? Nope. Shall I move on?
Just a tricky issue to solve.
Yeah.
How do you validate what's an edge case and what not? And
true. Good point. Yeah. I suppose because of his expertise in this area, he knows it was an edge case. But Yeah, yeah, that is a good point. Have a read, everybody, and see what you make of it. Anyway, okay. This one, Justin Tadlock over on WP Tavern. Have you noticed it's got a new black top bar now? God, talk about coronavirus not being important. We've got a black bar on the top of the WordPress Tavern. There are more important things. He's going on about exactly this, block-based themes and the problem with dynamic data in HTML templates. This article is of interest to theme developers, basically, and how it is that you're going to in the future use blocks within your theme. And he's proposing a couple of ways of doing it with JSON templates as JSON, PHP, and there was one other one, one time strings, and on-the-fly string replacement. And he's basically saying, can we just leave the HTML there, please? Can we just make it so that HTML and CSS is all that you need to know to interact with your theme? Because if we're going to start making people use JSON and so on and so forth, then it's going to become awfully difficult. Anyway, interesting read. I don't know if anybody's got anything to say about that one either, but if not,
this is exactly what I don't care about at the moment. So.
Fair enough.
It would be cool if we had Miriam Schwab on here now.
Yeah,
I think she would have plenty of stuff to say about that.
Miriam, she's actually, I've been following her on Facebook for a while, and it's quite interesting because she's got the same thing that I have, which is children. You know, a sudden influx of children all the time, and so I expect she's got better things to do with her children than listen to this. So, and the last one is just a congratulatory pat on the back to Bob Dunn, who this week, 10 years, for goodness sake. Sometimes I think I've been doing quite well to get to 3 years, and Bob's kind of, wow, 10 years he's been using the Bob WP brand. I've been listening to his stuff on and off for the last 6 years or so, and just well done, Bob. Keep going.
Yeah, he's ingrained into WordPress history.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he really is. It's amazing the amount of stuff. There's times when he's been producing like significant amounts. I get his emails, and there are days where you get like 2 a day. Some days it's less, but it's prodigious. It's incredible, and he's such a nice bloke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good on you, Bob. So that's really nice. What have we got in the comments? A quick look down there, see if there's anything popped in. Lots of acquisitions. James Kemp, you mentioned. No, nothing to post, I don't think, just yet. So let's see what's coming next. This one, let's do this one first, and then we'll go to the Elementor post. I don't know what you make of this. This will be interesting. Do we need this? This is a completely new, as far as I can see, way of interacting with the WordPress repository. Now, forgive me, I may have misunderstood this, but it feels like they're trying to create a new WordPress repository, not kind of offer advice about the current WordPress repository. And
it's taking all of the plugins from WordPress, from the free repo.
Is it? And is it just linking back to them?
Yep.
Okay, so that's all right. We like that. Okay, so this is some sort of philanthropic effort. It's not trying to own WordPress in a sort of sly way. Okay, right, good. With that in mind, the unique feature here is, so let's say, for example, that you're new to WordPress and you go and you want a form, a simple form. How terrible is that decision? What do I go for? This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Well, the intention here is that they're going to give you more insight. So they're going to tell you things like, here we go. It's going to make it easy to discover, and you're going to be able to compare plugins side by side, just like you do, like if you go into a phone shop and you can see all of the attributes of that particular phone aligned, like a pricing table, I'm guessing. And also they're going to do some sort of, now where's it gone? There was something to do with, like, here we go. All plugins are measured in the same way. Our separate server automatically activates a plugin and gathers insightful data such as latest PHP version, compatibility, PHP error, JavaScript errors, database footprint, memory usage, and more. I don't know if they're going to be able to make that entirely accurate, but seems quite novel. I can see myself using this if it is in fact philanthropic to go and compare 1 or 2 plugins at the same time. Novel? What do you reckon?
I'm not sure if we need this, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, I've just looked at the WP Forms contact form and how they present that WP Form slide. And then they say, for example, there was an issue that the plugin ran into some errors. Just quoting from the website here. Sorry, pal, the plugin couldn't pass all our tests. No hard feelings, right? So that's a plugin with 42 million downloads, with 3 million active installations, overall rating 5 out of 5, so seemingly really good. And then they have this huge headline that says the plugin ran into some errors with a sad smiley behind.
Okay. Right.
And then the errors and the data that they present, I assume, will not help like 90% of WordPress users because they are quite technical. So for example,
I guess that's the problem. Yeah, it's a really good point, Jan. And I confess I didn't go into the depth that you've just gone into, so that's really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, they say things like average memory usage is 935.93 kilobytes. What does that say?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say if that's good or bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. I suppose and in some cases, if you are a real noob, you might think a bigger number is better than a smaller number in certain situations.
Then
that's
they have
a good
some
point.
benchmark graphs over there, which it's nice to see the data. Don't get me wrong, and it's an interesting venture to see that automated. There must have been a lot of work to get that up from the ground, but I'm not sure, like, who is the target audience for that? Who did they build it for?
Yeah, my concern with something like this, and let's take the opinion that it is entirely philanthropic and it's just done for the benefit of the community. My concern is that this could turn into a platform for, how should we say, advertising, or what's it, featured plugins, shall we say? Drive your plugins to the top of the form section. If you give us a few dollars, it's a slight concern. Anyway, there it is. It exists. You might want to go check it out. Matt Davis, I think I just posted this comment. I can't remember. He says he really likes the layout. They had extra data. It's a really neat idea. So we'll just see where it goes. And I can't remember who it's done by. Can't remember who's behind it. Maybe it's in the footer. Nope. Anyway, this came to my attention, so I thought I'd introduce it. And here, we've been going on about this for ages. This is the Elementor post, which finally kind of feels like it ties together what they've been going on about for the longest period of time. I would just recommend go click this video. Their videos are so good. I say this every time, but their videos are like perfect. Perfect lighting, perfect animations, perfect scripting, perfect everything. So hat tip to them. But essentially now you can all pretty much edit everything without leaving the Elementor page, the interface. So you can edit your header by clicking that little thing. Same thing for footers. I know a lot of this stuff has probably been available in one form or another, but now it's all, finally been packaged up, and you can see the animated GIF doing it right there. And what else? There was another thing as well. Oh yeah, they had some custom CSS rules which you could implement across your site as well. I wasn't as excited about that because I just thought the full site editing was pretty amazing. So Elementor users, if you are using it, this is fabulous. Anybody?
I was actually most excited about the global CSS though.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I've been using it. You gotta go to the customizer every time instead of just jumping in and doing it in there, making sure that you can, compare sheets from the single page to the global and all of these kind of stuff. I use a lot of CSS, so that's that's a huge advance for me.
Yeah, and I believe,
you can see where they're going with this.
Yeah,
you can see where they're going with this, with the funding and the SaaS version that everybody is predicting is going to come out. And let's face it, if you look at the competition in the SaaS market, Wix and Squarespace, I'd be dead worried if I were those people at the moment, because Elementor have been working with their community for years now, doing it exactly how their specific audience like it to be done, and they're delighting them all the time. The only other thing in this article as well, just to notice, is there is a footnote about another part of this release is a change to how you license the product. When you install it now, you have to kind of connect it to their site, I think, rather than just dropping a license key in. There's a part about piracy somewhere. It's just probably up just slightly from there. And
hold on, let me just find.
Type in piracy.
Fighting piracy. There you go.
Yep. The only thing that this isn't actually related. This isn't the article's fault or anything, but earlier when we were talking about how if you get an email about anything COVID-19 related, it's almost like a groan or a bit of fatigue about it. If you go right to the top of the article, I when I read this, and this isn't their fault, it's almost a fault of everybody else who's doing it in these challenging. I just thought, what's the relevance of that? But again, there is some relevance because they're saying we're trying to make it easier, but they obviously weren't making it easier because they knew COVID-19 was coming. So it just felt like, what do you need that part for? But I think that's reflection on the other emails that we're getting that are kind of, or the phone calls with 20% discount to switch your energy supply because of we're trying to help you in these tough times or something like that. But that's what's fatiguing, I think.
I'm going to read this out because this could be interesting. Like many WordPress companies, Elementor suffers from piracy. Unlicensed use of Elementor Pro not only affects Elementor but our users as well. It had an impact on support, on developing new features and all of the services we provide. From this version on, Elementor Pro users who have never activated their license for the site won't be able to drag and drop the Pro widgets. This is part of our ongoing fight against piracy, and we hope this measure will help us reduce the abuse of Elementor Pro. So what's the change there? How did that all...
First of all, you used to have to just drop your license code in, I assume, like in most plugins. But now this is a bit more like where you actually, as you're installing a plugin, you've got to log into your Elementor account, and it will do a handshake that way. Okay. But this isn't piracy. This is open source software. So it's the wrong terminology. It's absolutely fine that they want to do that, but it's not piracy. In my opinion,
I think that these guys are riding on a gray area here, but but like it may not be considered piracy because of the use case specifically. But what they're doing is piracy. You're taking someone else's product, knowingly selling it off, reselling it like it's part of your own little kind of directory of products, and it does affect a lot of companies. And we felt this as soon as this we got listed on some of these places. We felt it. It's crazy.
Have you had a lot of experience of that then, Vito? I have seen your plugin. Actually, it was a post. I think it might have been you or Jan where you elaborated that it had happened. So I saw the place where you found it being given away. But is it common? Do you feel like it's...
Yes. So like this is something I remember from the music business. You drop your album, you're all excited. You work on the album for like 2 years. You make it happen. You guys sign the deal. You eat shit all day long, and then the album is out, and 3 days later it's all over the internet. And that's exactly what's going on with these guys. That's why the definition of piracy fits so perfectly, because I see the exact same business model as they did with music, as they do with music. So there they call it piracy, but here because GPL is so vague, then it's fine. It's allowed.
Yeah, it is intriguing, and it really is allowed as well, which is it's fascinating. A little bit of me dies each time you see those sites being used.
And I think that they're doing the right thing. Fine. Like GPL is about the community. It's about supporting the community. So like it's fine if you have your way of doing that. And they do. They have a plugin with 4 million installs that people are using, and every company finds their own kind of way of giving to the community. But then you also need to pay all of these people. They have 130 people working. They're going to work every day, making this experience better. And then this guy goes and sells it for $5.
Yeah. Matt Davis, good comment. It will happen to almost any digital product over the course of time. The choice that occurs is whether you let it drain your energy or you keep working hard to deliver awesome content to the people that do give a expletive and support you. Good point.
Yeah. Devil's advocate on this. One of the reasons I kind of highlight it is if you think about when Elementor, who I love that company, but I've got nothing against Elementor. Obviously, we've met Ben Pines on this panel as well. But from a WordPress news and future of WordPress point of view, you've got a product that most people predict to go and lock itself away into some kind of SaaS platform with even Matt Mullenweg going, and that'd be interesting to see what happens. A product that was actually, from what I understand, forked from another open source product, and then deciding that the term is piracy. I totally get it. Like Vito, you said about your music and your products, and Matt Davis, I know he's had some of his stuff stolen and repurposed, and it's really wrong. But I think it's almost like a problem with the GPL. That the GPL, when it started, probably didn't know it was going to get this big and was ever going to have these kind of issues. So it's more an academic kind of observation more than anything. But it's not.
I look at it.
It's kind of both. It's a gray area. Exactly what you said, Vito. Actually,
I look at it from a moral standpoint. It's not a matter of this. But we see what you're doing by doing that. By watching a movie. It's not that we're not Hollywood producers that live in mansions. But people still feel bad when they watch Brad Pitt on a pirated film. So that's what I mean.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. Actually, we kind of, you feel for those Hollywood billionaires.
It was really interesting.
You take these WordPress plugins, and you better not complain about it.
Somebody said something to me the other day, and I didn't really know what to make of it, but I took it and thought it was an intriguing point, and it was that sorry to go back to the COVID-19, but you made a point about film stars and what have you, and it just suddenly popped into my head. And this person was saying, it's interesting how suddenly the dustbin man, the guy that comes and collects your refuse, and the teacher have propelled themselves to become the most important members of society, along with others, right? Whereas the football star, who earns 50, 100x what those people do, suddenly has no importance. We just couldn't care less about these people suddenly. It's really interesting. Sorry, I've completely gone back. Right, okay, so what next? Next thing is deals. I've got a few deals for you this week. If you click this link, you'll go to our deals page where you can sort of sign up, to get email alerts. This one goes to the deals page, which this is great. Look, it's totally broken. There are no deals. I've just looked at it and thought, yeah, that's pretty broken, isn't it? There's not a single detail working there at all. So good job that I've got some extra work to do. And so don't you hate that? There's a few things on AppSumo here, basically. This one's not on AppSumo, I don't think. This is Book Like a Boss. If you want a booking platform, that's pretty good. Anyway, there's some deals there. Go check them out. What else have we got? A couple of security things. If this rings a bell, responsive ready site importer plugin. Never heard of it, but there you go. It's installed 40,000 times. It's been patched. WordFence tell you all about it. And then, as I do each month, I link to one of these articles. This is the article over on WebArcs, and I just say scroll through, just read the names of the plugins, and if one of them rings a bell, I've used that one before. I don't think I've got it on any sites at the minute, but I have used that one. So it makes me pause and go back and check it out. So there you go. Anybody got anything on the security front, or should we move on? I know, Jan, you're a bit of a fiend when it comes to security, but
nothing this week.
No, it's pretty low on the list, I think, isn't it? Right. So in that case, what did we do on WP Builds this week? We did this. This is the self-promotional WP Builds bit. I do apologize. This one couldn't have, like I said at the top of the show, this one couldn't have been better timed or more poorly timed. This is Emergency WP, which is I hate to say dead man's locker, but I think that's the expression. Basically, you can use it to create a silo of anything you want and then set a bunch of triggers. And if you don't meet those triggers, if you don't continually stop the triggers, so it might be that you get an email and you've got to click on a link, and if you don't click on that link repeatedly, the software kind of assumes that there's a problem and will notify people that you've said, I wish to be notified. And the whole thing is based around the untimely demise of people, and so that's why it feels like it was a bad episode to put out. But equally,
good idea. It's definitely a good idea. I've had clients, I'm sure we've all had a client or say, what happens if you go under a bus?
Right.
To that I say, the likelihood of that happening at the moment is very low.
Yeah.
Because you don't leave your house.
Nobody's. The one thing is that I did read that it's something like 3,000 or 4,000 people a day globally die from road traffic accidents.
Wow.
That's going to be obviously a lot lower at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. I think
will go down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be mostly accidental DIY accidents, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's going to be somebody with no experience drilling into their walls straight through the power cable.
That is going to go up. My next door neighbor works something to do with nature. I don't actually know, and nature reserves, that kind of thing. He told me that the air quality is already improving significantly around the UK.
Yeah.
As a result of
this plugin is perfect for that then. So, the whole under a boss argument. And he actually built the plugin because one of his friends sadly died completely unprepared in a motorbike accident. And he was in some way, shape or form left to organize the stuff. So he decided to build. Obviously, there's lots of questions surrounding, well, how does it know? How does it know? And you can listen to the episode. And then things like, but it's a WordPress install. What if my hosting runs out? Go and listen to the episode. He's got answers for all of this. And, it's not a bulletproof solution, but it's a nice solution.
Good one.
So so he's built that. A couple of comments. Let's just deal with these. This is, I like this. This is in relation to the football comment I made a moment ago. I'm really done with celebrities milking the isolation stuff on social media.
I think I know who he's talking about.
Sorry if you're having a tough day in your $12 million mansion. Yeah, fair enough. And then David McCann seems to be. I think David is very knowledgeable about this sort of stuff. In relation to Elementor feature locking, apparently it is GPL OK, and then he's got a link which will be in the comments on Facebook. Okay. Bye-bye, Beth. Got to run, guys. Meeting the financial advisor in half an hour. Social. Thank you. You're very welcome. That's great. Have a good day, Beth. Right. Okay. Let's quickly press on. We did a Pictionary WP Builds UI UX session. So we only talked about one site, Giles's site from WP and Op. He's putting together a kind of platform, and he was using LearnDash to do it. So anyway, me and Peacher did that this week. So you can click on that. And that's pretty much it. No jobs for you this week. I suspect the job market is going to stagnate for the foreseeable future. I don't suppose there'll be anything much going in there. For those nerds, GitHub has acquired NPM. Might be of interest to you. It's going to keep it running, hopefully. And this is quite a nice one if you like physics. About that one. My grandma was particularly interested in the.
She's always into that kind of thing.
She wanted to know about. She's often finding it difficult to decide how to deploy her JavaScript packages.
Exactly.
So I said NPM, so total shoe-in, especially because it's recently been acquired by GitHub, and she was happy with that.
Isn't it interesting that Microsoft goes into all these companies now?
Yeah,
being the death of developers just 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, it is interesting. Anyway, new custodian, and I think a good custodian. That seems like a really decent match made in heaven. Last one, pictures of black holes. Come on, look at that.
Have we not got enough problems already?
Get excited. It's a photo of a black hole.
Is there a black hole coming now? Is that what's happening? Or?
But what? Yeah. Somebody photoed a black hole, and the reason you can photo it is because of that. The way that it bends light. It bends light. Watch the video. It's dead cool. That's all I've got. Unless anybody wants to have a natter.
There's a few extra ones in the
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. All right. I might not be able to get them on the screen. No, I probably can.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I will do. Are we all right for time? Do you mind if we?
I'm okay. All the time in the world.
Okay, great. In which case, we've got one from.
You don't need to go pick up your kids today.
No,
I am totally off the hook. They're downstairs, probably hitting each other with bricks, but that's a completely different problem. Good grief! I tell you, that is going to be an interesting conundrum for me and my family. Just the whole how do you keep your kids interested for that length of time? And the truth is, we're going to find out, and it won't be pleasant. Right? Okay, here we go. What do we got? Talk us through oh no, I've just locked myself out of my Mac. Hold on.
We can talk through it. Vito, do you want to mention the WordPress specific deals page that you put in there?
I'll let Jan talk about this actually.
Okay, so in that post, what we've done is we've listed just a few.
Oh, not this one, Nathan.
Is it that one?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So it starts off with a few, like one of these generic tips on how to deal with the situation of being forced to work from home. Very similar to the article that Nathan showed from WP and Up. And then when you scroll down, Nathan, there are a few tools listed and a few courses that make our lives easier as web developers, if you will, online marketers. So we have that Ahrefs blogging course. We have Adobe Creative Cloud giving away 2 months for free. Affinity running a huge discount. Loom running a discount. Microsoft Teams, SiteGround hosting. And there's also more that we'll add over the time. So for example, blitzmetrics.com is running a really good promotion, or they're giving away their stuff for free. And Blitzmetrics runs like ad campaigns for Jack Daniels and Golden State Warriors and stuff like that. So they really know what they're doing.
Nice. Do you know what? I think, although clearly there was no intention of this, I think this company has probably, Loom. I would imagine that Loom has gone from being a complete unknown in the regular world to suddenly becoming an absolute, known everywhere. I can only imagine the infrastructure changes that they've had to put in place over the last few days. As an example, I could easily rattle off 10 people I know who are now using Loom, who a week ago had no idea it existed. They've come forward with this basically free for everything offer for a limited period of time, and that's the way to do it.
What an awesome product. From the moment that thing came out, everybody just loves it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And, they're going to have converted, I would imagine that it's not an exaggeration to say billions of people into not necessarily, lifetime users, but people who are aware.
Yeah, you have absolutely no hesitation to recommend that brand and that product to all of the people all your clients, your grandma, anyone. You just
amazing.
think this is a way you can communicate. It's fantastic.
Thank you for that. That's great. So thanks, guys, for writing that for a start, and thanks whoever it was who posted it for me to put in. This one, this is Elliot Richmond's post. Was this you, Paul? Did you want to discuss this?
So Elliot, who I think is watching at the moment, actually.
Nice.
Elliot and Ronald and some of the other team over at the WP Cheltenham meetup. There they are there. Recorded their first live stream of their Cheltenham meetup, which worked really well. As you can see, Magic Roundabout there. I think that's is that Ross? I think
yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know but
they had a talk on that. Apparently, it went really well. And this article actually tells you how they actually did it. So they shared that. And look,
your name's there. Look at that. Look,
there we go. So that's lovely. They gave a shout out to us. We're giving a shout out to them. But the nice thing is that they've documented all the tools that they used and some of the things.
They've used StreamYard, so that's what we use.
StreamYard as well.
It's so easy. It's the Loom of live streaming. It's the super drop dead easy. Can't mess it up. Although I've clearly tried on many occasions. Oh, that's lovely. Well done, guys. For
full description of how to do it, what tools you can use.
Right.
Brilliant.
Thank you. And again, was this you, Paul? GoDash?
Yeah, friend of mine, Michael from Logic Hop, which is a content personalization plugin for WordPress that we use, just sent me a message just the other day that they've launched this GoDash. So the way to think about this is, if anyone uses Windows 10, so I know a lot of people are getting turned off right now, even just seeing him saying that, but I imagine you can probably do it on the Mac as well. But on Windows 10, you can just start typing into the bottom left corner, whatever it is you're looking for, whether it's an application or a browser or something, and it will start auto-completing and find that. And so this among other things is mainly that. So you just literally, it's cool because you hit escape. You hit escape while you're in the WordPress dashboard. The thing pops up, you start typing. You can set things as favorites, so you can skim around your favorite areas of WordPress really quickly and find posts without having to go into posts, go into edit, search for posts, all this stuff. Really
Did
cool,
you know
really
that
simple.
Arindo 2K from WP Ultimo, he has this
inside
WP Ultimo called Jumper, and and he's never released it as a standalone plugin. He's totally built it just to fit inside of Ultimo, which is amazing.
So there's another one that actually does it exactly like we're describing. They're looking at the experience actually from Mac that you have. How do you call this? Like this search Spotlight. Yeah, exactly.
And there's Alfred as well, which is a commercial rival, which goes a bit deeper. I think it's got certain permissions that you have to accept. That's really nice. Thank you. That will save a ton of time. How do you activate it? How do you do to get it up on the screen, Paul? Do you just like?
You hit escape.
Okay, so it's literally escape. Okay, well that's great.
There's an icon, or you can just hit escape, which makes it really accessible.
Yeah. I might look at that.
Obviously, David von Gries has got a similar kind of product, I think, but I've not looked at it myself, that one yet properly.
Yeah, no,
I know he's got something like that.
David has like a really cool ability to add a few kind of icons to any page to act as your like shortcut kind of bar, you know. This goes a lot deeper when it comes. Well, it's a different concept. This goes like taking you directly into any page. That's great.
Yeah, it was good. I confess I tried it and made a video. I think it was really good. Okay, let's take that away. I think we've done all the bits that we need. Okay, great. So what are we doing this week, fellas? If you want to divulge what's going on this week, obviously it'll be a bit slimmed back. Probably won't involve much in terms of tennis or, going out to a rave, one hopes. What are you doing this week, Jan?
Staying home, probably. Yeah, working on the summit that we have coming up with WP Feedback and just some internal structurings of the processes.
It's not what you told me earlier, Jan. He's lying to you, Vito. It's completely untrue. He's off. He's totally not doing that. He's
playing with his horse.
Yeah. He's not on the horses.
The horse. Oh no, he has a horse today.
Was that okay? What he said there, Vito? Is that satisfactory?
Yeah, it's
yeah. Being inspected by the boss.
You should know that I couldn't care less about that. You'll always see me blunt and honest.
Okay, what about
perfect? That's what I like. That's exactly what I like about this. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, staying positive. Just staying positive, talking with my business partner and my small team, and communicate with clients, and just assess day by day what's going on, and be supportive to my friends and family as much as I can. So that's my main mission at the moment, just to take each 24 hours at a time and stay positive as much as possible.
I like it. That sounds good. What about you, Vito?
We're going to work in a lot about this on the summit this week, raising sponsorships and starting to launch all these kind of the first landing pages that will be, talking about the plan and everything that we're going to be doing here. Other than that, I started doing these kind of calls with our users during this kind of time. I allocated like 4 hours a week to talk to pro users to see what's their experience and to learn from that. So that's pretty cool. I have like 4 hours a week just hanging out with, meeting new people every week now from our own user base.
Oh, well, it'd be very nice. I'm going to go and fix my deals page. That's my job for the next few hours, I suspect.
And put us under as well.
Well, unless I'm hit over the head with a brick by one of my children.
One of the kids.
Quite rightly, yeah.
Don't go
speaking
on
of which,
anymore.
Yeah, Matt Davis.
Please, no ladders, Nathan.
No, we'll keep that one on the wraps. But yeah, basically, bricks and ladders, good combo. What's this? Bo. Oh, hello. You need to do something, little special episode where you invite WP professionals with big families to see how they keep their kids busy. Hold that thought. It's happening. And thanks for the call today, chaps. Nice to spend a day in isolation with you. Hope everybody has a lovely day ahead. Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it. Guys, if you stay on the line, I'll just put the drill. We just put the branding up and say bye-bye for now. I hope that you enjoyed that.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.